Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Glorious day today in Lancashire. Right, today's video is going to be all about putting this thing back together. Now, I'm not going to film it in detail because A, I'm not confident enough, and B, it's probably going to be 18 rated because there's going to be so many swear words coming out of my mouth. So slow and steady, get it all sorted. But what I will do is I'll show you what I'm replacing the standard parts with. Not going to do it just yet because I've literally just rolled up. I've got to get everything out the vehicle. I'll line it all up on the floor and I'll fetch you back and I'll talk you through the service I've had to start off with, because it has been second to none. And yeah, what I've gone for and the theory behind it. So folks, yeah, let me unload the cruiser dead quick, get everything out on the floor. We will be able to compare a few pieces, but the thing we won't be able to compare, but to be fair, it's a waste of time anyway, is the turbo. The turbo I've gone slightly uprated, but it looks exactly the same. It's uprated internals. So it looks exactly the same. The size isn't bigger, nothing's really different apart from it looking shiny and new. Right, so I'll crack on, tidy up around here because the wind's been wreaking havoc in here. And yeah, we will sort it all out and fetch you back. Right, everybody, so I've unloaded the Land Cruiser, got all the parts here in front of me. I'll quickly flick the camera around and give you a quick pan. So as I mentioned in a former video, I have been doing a hell of a lot of research. So I've gone for synthetic oil. There's a massive argument between mineral and synthetic. I went for synthetic. It's got a couple of properties that I would prefer in my vehicle. Just down here in front of you, we've got silicone pipes with the upgraded clips, which I will grab for you. So it's these. Everybody says these grip better compared to the standard Jubilee clips, which if you look at the side profile there, it's absolutely tiny compared to that behemoth. So we went for the upgraded clip package on all of them, and I've got some for the air filter as well. We've got your return pipe on your turbo, bolts to the bottom of your turbo into the block of your engine, and you've got your oil feed pipe there that bolts into the top of your turbo. Just at the back there, we've got all the gaskets needed to do this successfully. We've got the turbo and manifold. Now, it's from a company called Fox Revolution Turbos. They're in Doncaster, here in the UK. Fantastic service. Callum over there really looked after me, answered any questions I had, because I've gone for a little bit of an uprated turbo. It's a hybrid turbo. So the internals have been slightly uprated, just to give me a bit of low-end boost, a bit more low-end boost rather. I've got a top tip on them too in a minute, but we'll go to the intercoolers. Now, the intercooler I went for, is from a company called AirTech. Now, it is a bigger one. That's the standard one next to it with the crack in the front. You can see it's got oil down the front of it where it's been leaking out that crack. But yeah, I went for the uprated one. It's got a 3-year warranty. And yeah, I ordered it on the Sunday and it arrived on the Tuesday. So yeah, fantastic. Obviously they posted it on the Monday and it arrived on the Tuesday. So fantastic service, as was the turbo. I ordered that on the Friday evening when I stripped the Land Rover, and it arrived by Wednesday morning. Now that is like a surcharge unit. You send your old one back to them and they refurb your old one. So the price of the postage, don't let that put you off. You get that back once you send the turbo back in. But yeah, these two companies, AirTech and Fox Revolution Turbos, fantastic service. Any questions, proper looked after you. I paid full price for these, by the way. I didn't get any discount or anything like that. In fact, I mentioned to them that I was going to make a video and I will show their parts in the video after I'd paid for them. So yeah, there's no funny business going on. I paid full price for all these parts. Right, top tip on the spray bottles. So this has got brake cleaner in it. You can see it just there. Brake cleaner in these hand cranking ones doesn't work. I've been through 2 of these bottles and I was wondering what the hell I was doing wrong. I don't know whether it's something about the properties of brake cleaner, but these don't pump the brake cleaner through. You have to buy one that looks like that you pressurize from the top. So you pour your brake cleaner in it, you pump it up via this, and then you can spray it. So yeah, don't waste your money on these if you're planning on spraying brake cleaner, and the brake cleaner is just over there. So now to crack on, our first job is to open a sump plug, dump the oil out, take the oil filter off, then I can crack the 2 existing return and feed pipes off the engine block that are still on it. clean everything up where this gasket's going to go on, etc. I've got to clean that up, and rebuild's going to start. So wish me luck, and hopefully I'll fetch you back a little bit later today when we're a little bit closer to being done and the swear words have stopped. All right, folks. Right, guys, well, it's 5 o'clock in the evening and I've given up for the day. She's fought me every second of the way. Not even kidding you. Everything from studs not going into the head, and just at the moment I'm really struggling with the return oil pipe on the bottom of the turbo. I just can't get the bugger lined up. So I'm going to call it a night. As I say, 5 o'clock in the evening, come back tomorrow, fresh eyes, get a good night rest. But good news is the intercooler's in, the turbo is on and tightened up. I just need to get the final few pipes, inlet manifold on and all the tubes on, and then put oil in. But I couldn't even get the oil filter off, so I'm going to have to go to my mate John's and see if he's got an oil filter removal tool that I can get underneath the Landy to get it off. But yeah, I'm going to go home now. Well, go via John's, go home, have a night of rest, and come back first thing in the morning and crack on. And hopefully tomorrow we'll see her started. But I'll bid you good night for now. Going to go home, get washed up. Absolutely knackered. Fought me every second of the way, but that's Land Rovers for you. Right, folks, have a good night, and I'll see you Saturday, which is tomorrow. Right, my friends, little confession time. It is a week later. It took me 2 whole days to get the Land Rover back together, which was a pain in the arse. Turns out there's a specific order you're meant to disassemble it in, and certain parts you've got to take off that I was trying to cut corners. Not an expert again, I was trying to cut corners. And yeah, tried to speed it up a little bit, and I didn't take certain parts off. Let me just stand that up. So when I was putting it back together, I came across a few hurdles, let's say. So yeah, had to come back. I was here on Friday when I started the video. Saturday I came back, took off said pits, and I managed to complete it. Now I have taken it on a test drive. All runs as it should. I'm just waiting for Forby to get back off his annual leave, Neil over there, and I'm going to order myself an EGT gauge. Just for peace of mind, really. I don't think it needs it. It is running absolutely sweet. It's got a bit more mid-range. It seems to get up to speed a lot smoother. I'll flick the camera around, show you what I've done, show you what it looks like under the engine bay. I have done a few other mods while I was here as well. And in fact, today, final piece of the puzzle. Can you see that? 2 clips, and I'm probably going to use half of that pipe. And that's just the bit that goes from the turbo to the injector pump that tells it when to boost and how much to boost. That's the only bit I haven't replaced. I recycled an old piece of tube that came off the old turbo. So just for peace of mind, I'd rather replace that as well, although there's nothing wrong with the bit I've put on. I'd just rather just change that as well, just for peace of mind, that I know the whole system has been replaced. Right, without further ado, I'll switch it around, tell you what I've gone for, show you how I've done it. So here's the working question. Now I have changed and put a non-disposable air filter on it. It's running a little bit louder. You can hear it sucking in, and when you hold your hand in front of it when the Land Rover's running, you can lose your hand in there. It is proper sucking. Don't know if that's down to the new turbo or what, but it's sucking in a hell of a lot of air. I have kept the original air filter, but or the air filter housing rather. I'm going to see how I get on with this. Any problems, I'll just switch it back over. It is literally a Jubilee clip just there to remove that and put the old one back on. So down there, you can see the new turbo just poking out. EGT gauge is going to fit in here. The kit, I believe, entails a replacement EGR blanking plug, which is that there, which is threaded. And you put your probe in there, run the gauge into the front, wire it up, and it measures your temperature. You can't really see much under there, to be honest. Now it's all back together. Gave it a bit of a clean and a bit of a spruce because it was a bit dusty and a bit grubby under there. Lots of brake cleaner. It's still dripping a little bit on the floor, probably where alt residues falling off. Hello, Mr. Wasp. I did replace this relay here, which is for the electric fan on the front. And I did a various few other little jobs here and there. My good friend Rowley, who works here at the barn, he's not here today, gave me this pipe. Let me elaborate a little bit. Because this Defender is a bit of a Frankenstein, the engine 300 TDI sits a lot further back towards the bulkhead. So your standard intercooler pipes are not long enough. So mine had a load of metal pipes joining stuff together to extend the hoses. So yeah, my friend Rolly, who loves his Alphas, has got a few over at the back there of the barn, just over yonder. Had a few spare silicone pipes lying about. Well, it just turns out the one that goes on the Alfa Romeo GT, I think it is, I'm not sure what it is. The pipe is the perfect length for your intake to intercooler. So yeah, that fit absolutely perfect, and it's got the right angle and everything to go straight on. So we fitted that, and I fitted the new silicone pipes down the bottom. Had to cut one down. I've got the remaining bit in the back of the Cruiser just there. But yeah, plans for today, just to quickly replace this tube. It's not going to take long at all. It is literally 2 Jubilee clips. You can see them on there, just there. And as I say, I'm probably going to use 2.5 inches of that pipe. One end goes onto the end of the turbo, the other end goes onto a thin black tube that goes to your injection pump that tells it when to boost, as I mentioned. Then I am going to run it to John, the mechanic, who's just recently back from Perth. He's been up to Scotland for a bit of a break. I'm going to quickly nip it up to him. We're going to get it on the ramp and just give it a once over, just for a second set of eyes. I mean, as I've mentioned at the beginning of this video, and indeed through, I hate to repeat myself over and over again, and when I'm editing these videos, I am very aware that I do it an awful lot. But yeah, I just want a second set of eyes. I'm not an expert. I am not. I know a little tiny bit about Land Rover, older Land Rovers. I can get by, and it's mainly bits that I've done in the past that I've learnt on, but I've never done a turbo. I've never known one to fail. They wear out, of course, it's a mechanical part, it wears out, but I've never known one to fail like mine failed. I'm sure it has happened in the past. I can't be the only person, but yeah, I'm just going to go there, get him to have a look over it, get him to check a few bolts and stuff, just for peace of mind. If he's free, that is. He might not even be free, because as I say, he's just had 4 or 5 days off, so no doubt he's going to be snowed under with people wanting their cars repaired. Not Land Rovers, might I add. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm going to shut this video off. A very short one this week for you. I'm probably 2 weeks behind at the moment, so you're seeing my videos that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago now. From the time in the woods to me pulling it to bits to me now repairing it. Hoping to get back on track very soon when we will be going up to Scotland. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going solo or if I'm going to be going with my friend Andy. Yeah, he's had a bit of bad news and he might not be able to make it. So if that's the case, I will go for a shorter duration, and I'll probably take a shorter route and just go and do a little bit of the NC500 and just see key features. I'll still stay over, obviously, still do a bit of camping, but then I'll get back with a few days to spare and I can film a few more videos just to build up a backlog for when I can't get out or when I'm busy at weekends. But on that note, I'll love yous and leave yous. I hope you're all well. Hope this video's finding you good. Hope you haven't got too much going on, and more to the point, I hope your Land Rovers are well too, because it's so stressful when they break. Anyway, folks, love you lots. I'll speak to you very, very soon in another video.